social engineering techniques also. Right, any other? Only 2 students responding. What about remaining students? About the phishing? Okay. In continuation of phishing discussion, so I thought of going in detail of phishing. So that's why it may take another 2 more hours to complete the phishing attacks, phishing types, methods, techniques, etc. and so on. So in the previous session, we have discussed about phishing. The phishing meant for to steal the ID theft, ID fraud kind of things. The most probably widely the targeted victims are financial institutions, banks, the social networks, etc. and so on. And one of the major country, that is Europe countries, usually they use to generate the phishing emails, and probably you might somehow you might receive some of the spam emails, kind of scripts might be present. For you, it is not comes as a normal English like statement. Some of the other countries' languages it might come. So you can suspect them as a phishing or spam emails also. Okay, US, India, and China are the most targeted countries since these are all developing countries, and the one is developed country, and 2 more are the developing countries. So, because of IT hub, the number of peoples are used. Because of the central government, now the India is becoming a global leader, leading positions. So these are all the other reasons of targeting the attacks. Because use infrastructure, by destroying the infrastructure, the people is going to suffer, and they can rule us like that. Might be different set of deceptive purposes. They might targeting the attacks. So phishing is one, because through most of the cases, emails are used to send through the emails. They are going to compromise the system by the main target of phishing is the ID theft, identification theft. So the port number 80 is a open. Most of the time, this port is open because it uses a local host 8080 protocol is used here. It is found the most popular port in use, followed by port 443 and 8080. So usually phishing attacks which will happen through port 8080 or 443. So to prevent the phishing attacks, some of the organization working towards that anti-phishing like Symantec, Avira, and the people who is developing the antivirus softwares like Bit Defenders, McAfee. So many companies are working towards that to monitor the phishing attacks every day. Every minute, there is a phishing mails, spam mails getting in your inboxes, which is sent by the unknown persons. So there is a group, internationally constructed group is there, that is called as anti-phishing working group. If you refer this anti-phishing.org, who are all the members of that anti-phishing working groups, you will come to know. So the main job of this is to prevent the phishing attacks to the financial organizations. It is highly difficult to achieve the 100% success, because attackers also becoming day by day, they are smarter and smarter compared to the defenders. So So in that case, in this war field, cyber war field, both the hackers also smart, defenders also smart. Now, who is going to win? It is up to the compromise and the value of the attack. So you can observe here there is a phishing attack flow chart. You can understand that this is a scenario of phishing attack. How you can identify the phishing email? What is the thing content in the email? It tells whether it is a phishing mail or it is a original mail as intended by the sender. So how you can identify? This is a one common general flow chart to identify the phishing attack. Is it visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Visible? Yeah. So either phishing or it is a normal non-phishing. It means safe mail. So by reading into this flowchart, whether the sender of an email is known individual. Suppose if you receive an email, it is whether it is a known to you. Earlierly, already you are communicated with that person or organization. If it is yes, if that person is known to you, yes, then whether the email contains an attachment, yes, that person is known to you, yes, in the case of yes. Whether the email contains an attachment, suppose the sender has sent the email message with attachment, if again it is an S, then whether the attachment is an executable, if it is an executable attachment, if even though it is a known sender, uh, it is asking whether the attachment is an executable .exe or .dll or .inf ini files. So in initial configuration setting files or script files, .js files, if any such kind of attachment content is there, if again it is yes, you can think of it is a possible phished email. Possible phished email. Known person, some attachment is there in the email, that attachment is executable if it is a possible phished email. If it is no executable attachment content, then you can think of downloading the attachment after the virus scan. So after the virus scan of that, you can download the content. Okay. So this is the one scenario. Second, two scenario. Third scenario is, first scenario is sender is known. It consists of attachment. The attachment has executable. Yes case is possible phished email. No case is download the attachment after the virus scan. These two scenarios. In case of the sender is not known to you. In case no, the sender is non-known. Then whether the sender of an email is known organization or institute or group. If that person or the organization or the institution is not known to you, then check the email from where it come from. You need to check the from address of the email. If yes, if that organization email you know, suppose skd at bmsit.in, suppose if it comes from the mail id skd at bmsit.in, bmsit. You know the organization, you may or may not know the skd, who is skd, right? Getting my point? But if you know the organization, if it is the case of yes, again this path of this flows. Otherwise, in case of no, there is a possible of phished email. Even organization also don't know, the person who is sending also don't know. In that case, instead of opening that attachment or clicking on the email, just ignore or delete, or you can mark it as a spam in the inbox of your email. Okay, suppose In the second case, this is third scenario. One is yes, one is no. Fourth scenario. Fifth scenario. Sender is known. Attachment contains email contains attachment. No. In the case of no. Again, whether the email contains any URLs or web links. That email or so sender is known. There is no attachment in the email. Any email which consists of any web links or URLs. If yes is one scenario, another no is another scenario. If it does not contain any URL or web links, then again whether any personal information has been asked. If there is no web link or URLs present in the email, still that sender asked you to provide your credentials, any personal information. If that case, there is again possible phished email, or in case of no, it is a safe email. So by going through this flow chart, you will able to you are able to prevent yourself from the phishing attack by cross checking yourself. In case of no web links, in case of no personal information asking means safe email. Still, if it asking the personal information, there is a chances in the possible phished email. Suppose whether the email contains any URL or web links. If it is in this case is yes, then open the websites manually without clicking on the URLs or web links. This is very important step. This is very important. If the suppose it consists of any URLs of a particular website, instead of clicking on them directly, you type them in the browser manually rather than clicking on that, because there is a severe attacks are happening just by mouse over onto that link, the script is going to launch it. So such kind of severe attacks are there. So by single click, double click, right click, left click, all the click events, if they are defining and attaching the launching the attacks, you will be the victim of the attacker or the hacker. So that's why you need to be very careful after opening your email. Who has the sender? Check, verify yourself. Who has the sent? If it is known, whether any attachment. If it is attachment, what kind of attachment? It is executable or non-executable. Executable means don't download or open the attachments. If not, you can download the attachment after virus scan. There is in the attachment there is a possibility of viruses. Maybe the sender don't know himself or herself. In such cases, you can scan the file. So in case of sender is don't know, then check with the from address whether the known organization or the institute or the group. If it is a known organization, again check attachments, etc. If it is not known, there is a possibility of possible phished email. These are the you can check yourself whenever you receive an email from the known or the unknown person. This is very important in the case of URL links which is present in your email. For example, to provide the feedback, usually email that consists of the message. Along with that, click the below link to provide the feedback, or click the link to register the event, etc. and so on. So instead of that, clicking those, you copy or paste in the URL bar, or you type manually in the URL bar to open such links. Don't click on the links. Okay, this is the phishing attacks flow chart. Any questions are there? Is it clear? Am I audible? Okay, after knowing the flow chart and some precautions with respect to the phishing, again we'll know little more information about the phishing. It's a type of deception. Deception is termed to be it is a tricky method. There is a tricky to steal the information, personal identity. Phishing is a type of deception designed to steal your identity. That is a kind of identity fraud. So identity fraud, this phishing is a type of deception. Deception is termed to be as a to making you fool, using some tricks for what for to steal. When it is become steal, when there is no permission to access, unauthorized access, that term to be as a steal your identity. In phishing schemes, the phisher tries to get the user to disclose valuable personal data. In the phishing schemes, the phisher tries to get the user to disclose valuable personal data. So they are throwing messages in such a way that fill the feedback and get your phone recharged with 1,000 rupees of data. So they are making you to pray for them. So they are using tricky methods to what to ID theft or identity fraud. Usually, in such cases of phishing schemes, usually credit card numbers, passwords, account data, or other information that is going to be stealing by the phishers. So, by convincing the user to provide it under false pretenses, by convincing the user to provide it under false pretenses. So, by sending a fake emails, fake messages, their intention is to steal your data. They are offering you in such a way that in 30 minutes, this offer is going to be end. Already 10 lakh of customers are benefited from this offer. So like that, so it is looking like a normal message, original message, but there is some tricks are involved in that gathering your identity. So usually email is the popular medium used in phishing attacks. So most commonly widely used phishing is email. So email which has several kind of emails. So one is normal safe email, that is for communication. The second is the spam email. Spam is solicited and unsolicited emails are there. So spam, unsolicited, spam, and one more is hoax, hoax emails. So spam emails are usually flooded with your inbox, repeated emails you are getting regarding the offers provided by the big market or something else similar, such kind of the mails. Hoax messages, again they also commercialized messages also there, business related is also there. They are targeting to the individual or the group of the users. So, for the next class, there is a small exercise to you. You understand what is spam bots, what is web crawlers, email blockers or filters, hoax email examples, homograph attack. So you come with this preparation, spam bots. I'll give the basic definition of this. Then you can explore more about, by knowing this one, you can become master in the phishing also. So span bots is a one kind of the automated software which is usually installed at the email servers to filter out the unwanted messages, to filter out the, to generate the emails to bulk emails. These spam bots also acts as a web crawlers. So web crawlers is nothing but these are going to gather the email IDs which is available over the internet, and these web crawlers preparing the list of emails which is available in the domain and subdomain of an organization. After created the list of the email, to the email, the such emails, spam messages are going to be generated. In this way, they are going to use the web scrollers for the spam bots. So bots is robots. It's a short form of robots, means automated, either physical or the hard, either software or the hardware is installed to sending the spam mails. Email blockers or filters are a tool which is used in the email to check whether the email which is sent to you is a phishing email or the spam email. So email blockers are the filters used to filter out the phishing emails which is frequently coming and sitting in your inboxes. So this is a simple definition of blockers or the filters. The hoax email examples are like, for example, SBI using the name of an organization or the trademark of an organization, sending you an email quoting that you are a prime, we are selected you as a prime customer of Amazon. If you buy a worth of 1,500 today, you are going to get the 15,000 coupons throughout the year. So these kind of messages. So these are some one example of hoax email examples. And the homograph attack is a similar kind of attack. So same kind of information is sending to the many persons. So similarly, you just explore these things for additional information. These are all the you can use web crawlers. There are several web crawlers, or we can call them as a web scrapers, is available. Scrapy tool, Heritrix, Web Harvest. These are all the some of the tools are available to gather the email IDs over the internet, which is used among the several people who are using the internet. So these are going to scroll. It is switching from, scrolling is nothing but it is switching from one website to another website to gather the email information. So gathering through chatbots also, it is while chatting, maybe you are providing some of the email IDs. So those email IDs is going to be collecting from these kind of web crawlers. So one of the tool is Scrapy. It's an open source tool. You can install it. It is developed by in the Python. You can install this in your system, and you can gather the some email information, email IDs of this. This is the one of the tool you can make use of that. So hoax email is like CEO fraud, fake websites, content injections, phishing email. These are all some of the hoax email examples. To yeah, then so methods of phishing. Methods of phishing. So there are four methods as we have seen. One is Dragnet, as your friend told something about Dragnet, rod and reel, lobstopper, lobster spot, and gillnet. These are the zillnet or gillnet, how you are pronouncing. So these are the methods of phishing. So most frequent methods used by the fishers to entice the netizens to reveal their personal information on the internet. So the type or methods or techniques might be anything. The original intention of phishing attack is to steal the personal information. So, which are the way the personal information can be steal? These are four methods. The one is Dragnet. So, Dragnet uses spammed emails. This Dragnet technique, it uses the spam emails. It claiming that it that email claiming that it is sent from some of the corporate companies. So, daring falsified corporate identification. So, Dragnet uses corporate IDs, company ID, logo in the spam email such that since you are a second semester student of MC of BMS IT, since we know the capabilities students of the BMS IT, so we are hiring you for so and so post by providing 10 lakh package. So sent from so and so Microsoft, Cognizant, TCS, like that, sending such kind of emails. They are using, actually it's a fake email. It is come from the hacker, but you are not checking who has sent that one. You are looking in the email ID claiming of Microsoft, TCS, like that. So if it is the case, you can think of it as a phishing email. So Dragnet fishers do not identify specific prospective victims in advance. These Dragnet users randomly they are sending emails of community of the student group, community of a particular employee. They will not check with whether the targeted victim is this person or that person. They are not worrying about that. Simply they are generating a spam emails to share with the targeted victims. Instead, they rely on false information included in an email to trigger an immediate response by the victims. Instead of targeting a specific group, let us take student, faculty in the organization, instead of targeting them, instead of that, they are generally sending the email such that, for example, let us take this example. The email is quoting that give the internet feedback of BMSIT organization. So it is asking student as well as faculty, the both. In that case, there is no targeted here. Just they send. Even security person also using the internet. They can also give. The hostelites also using. They can also give. So common general email is going to be written in such a way that you are going to believe that it is coming from the original source. So when you start submitting, definitely will provide your USN, your name, branch, and the device which you are using. All such information that is going to be collected by the form they have provided with the help of this technique that is termed to be as a dragnet. The second method of phishing is rod and reel. So here, fishers identify specific prospective victims in advance. In Dragnet, no specific target. It is a open, public like, similar. Rod and reel, Here, well in advance, they are fixing the victims or the targets and convey false information to them to prompt their disclosure of personal and financial data. So in this rod and reel, they are going to do the phishing attack through the email to steal personal information for the targeted victims. Dragnet, which is not targeted, simply they are sending, but here targeted victims. So by sending false information, false emails, spam emails to them, from them they are going to collect. For example, let's take one more example of this type is, let's take the Indian bank customers. So Indian bank customers. Suppose these are all just example to make you understand. It's not a target or something else. So phishing, they are sending such a way that now the Indian bank is framed merging with the two banks like Allahabad Bank, etc., and so on. The database of the customer of email ID is going to be provided by the bank to do the further correspondence with the bank. So what you feel that by looking into that messages, you know merging of banking happened. IFSC micro MICR code are changed. Probably this may come from the original intent. Usually bankers will not ask through email. Whenever you visit to the banks, then they are providing the information rather than they are sending instead of sending the emails like this. Okay, so there the bank customers are targeted, the particular users are targeted in the fraud and reel to reveal their personal identities. So, for example, the phony website web page availability of similar item for a better price is displayed, which the victim may be searching for, and upon visiting the page, victims were asked for personal information such as name, bank account numbers, and passwords. Before confirming that the sale and the information is available to the fisher. See, whenever you provided the information before submitting that information to the original intender, you are give up all your sensitive information with the phishing attacks. So phishing attacks, many they might uses the combination of the techniques, like they might uses the viruses, they might uses the Trojan horses, they might uses the key loggers, they might uses the spywares, multiple hybrid kind of combinations they are going to use to steal information from you by sending the so and so false information emails. Okay, that is termed to be as a rod and reel fishers. The third type of fishing method is lobster pot. It is a method focused on spoofed website. Spoofed is nothing but again it's a fake. It is looking like the original website. You can think of cloned website. You can think of clone website. So this is looking like a original website logo, original login page, etc. So similar to exactly similar. It is very difficult to identify it is whether it's a original or duplicate one. So it consists that spoofs website consists of creating of bogus or phony websites similar to the legitimate corporate ones, targeting a narrowly defined class of victims which is likely to seek out. Exactly creating a web page of a particular financial institution. From that, they are targeted the customers of that financial institution to gather the information, to gather the identity of them. Just they are creating. There are several ways of doing this one. lobster part, that is termed to be a spoof website. So usually these attacks are also known as content injection phishing, because content injection means they are going to change the some of the content of the website, some of the content of the original website, replacing them with the web link by by forcing the victim to click on the web link. They are redirecting to some of their target their website, and they are stealing your information. So these attacks are also known as content injection phishing. The phisher who is doing attack phisher places a web link into an email message to make it look more legitimate and actually takes the victim to a phony scam site. It is looking like a original website, but when it takes you to that the new website, this is also the looking like a original one. So which appears to be a legitimate website or possibly a pop-up window that looks exactly like the official site. So it is looking like very exactly to the like official site. There is a two options. One is opening the tab in the new window and opening the fake website page as original legitimate type. Another option, one more window is going to be pop up. It is detaching from the existing browser window, and it is showing exactly like the original one. So, as a customer of a bank, as a customer of any financial institution, we must be very careful when we are on the internet. These fake sites are also called as spoofed websites. So websites they're making a clone of the original one, and by replacing some of the content by the links, fake links. By clicking that, it is redirecting to the attacker website. It is exactly looking like your official website. Then you believe that website, then you start login your credential. When you start typing your credential, that website is going to collect using keyloggers, spywares, adwares, using different hybrid technology. They are going to steal your personal identity. Okay. The fourth method of phishing is the Gillnet or Zillnet. You can pronounce as you want, Zillnet or Zillnet. This technique relies far less on social engineering techniques, and phishing introduce malicious code into emails and websites. So malicious web links are also comes under this heading Gillnet. Malicious scripts or codes also inserted. In the email attachment, executable code, .js code you are going to insert. Sending as a try to send .js file using Gmail account, whether it allows you to send or not. Check it. So because you know you are learning web technology, right? Send the .js file, open .js file. Don't do the zipping of that. Just open .js file. You try to send through your email ID, whether it allows or blocks your email. Check it. Temporarily blocks it email. It won't permanently blocks your email. It temporarily tells that warning message you are attached, that is a encrypted message or some executable code. Some you can append attach .dll, .exe, .bat, .dat. These files are executable files. If you try to attach them into your email, definitely that email filtering is going to identify the attachment and blocks to sending over the internet. So Gillnet is a kind of social engineering attack. The phishing is combination of phishing and psychology. Phishing is the combination of phishing and psychology. So it is working on psychological part is social engineering part, phishing is happening with the techniques and methods to steal the identity. So Gillnet can, for example, misuse browser functionality by injecting hostile content into another site's pop-up window. So probably you are working in web technologies now. Some of the JavaScript code you are going to write in your program. For example, display the addition of two numbers. If you write in JavaScript code, you are going to use the input box method. Input method, some methods you are going to use. It is going to display the pop-up window when that script is going to trigger when you launch that application in your browser. So by injecting some of the malicious content in the scripting, when you open up the browser, that browser functionality itself is going to be destroyed from by doing the scripting attacks. So this is another kind of the Gillnet kind by pop-up window, etc. and so on. So merely by opening a particular email or browsing a particular website, netizens may have a Trojan horse introduced into their system. So some browsers are not safe to browse because we don't know about the browser who has created that URL, etc. and so on. Probably HTTP kind of websites. Probably you heard about HTTP. It's a unsafe browser. It is providing. You can think of this this hoax buster website. You can observe here the browser is intimating you, warning message is showing here, it is not secure. So not secure means the link, some of the links are there. Don't click or mouse over that links because I am not sure about whether it is phished or not, phishing website or not. So this is an one example I want to showcase you about the phishing kind of the attack. When you click the URL, that one, it is telling that your connection to this site is not secure. What and all other subset of information it is providing means, it is telling you that don't enter any sensitive information like password or credit card information in this website page which is displayed for you. Right, this is hoax buster. You can refer. Washington is one of the tool in that Washington.org. This tells about the phishing attack. Washington Post is a website which provides the recent phishing attacks happened in the globe. Okay. These are the four different. Which are those? Dragnet. Yes, which are those? Dragnet, rod and reel, lobster pot, Gillnet. And today we discussed about the phishing flowchart. And these are some of the phishing techniques. Usually how the phishers are launching phishing attacks. Usually they are going to use the web links, that is malicious web links. By modifying the malicious web links when it is launched, when it is in production or launch, they are going to embed, append some of the additional content to that URL, and that URL is going to redirect to their fake websites. Then they are forcing, indirectly they are forcing the user to provide the inputs by providing survey, feedback, registrations, offers, etc. Different way of methods are there to steal the information. So using URL manipulation means changing or editing, adding, deleting they are going to do online when it is on online. Probably is something you heard when Amazon leaves for offer for 1 day or 1 hour. Usually the attackers is going to um, take, suppose they release an Apple phone so and so version, uh, just 5 minutes is allowed to buy. Whoever clicks within a 5 minutes, they are going to get the Apple phone. So there is two possibility. One may be a original also. The another one is it's a phishing also. There is a two possibilities. Okay, we'll know about more about phishing techniques in the coming classes. Just to go through that exercise, know more about the spam bots and all. So, if any questions, let me ask. You can ask me. Otherwise, we'll go with the quiz.